But over the time, things have changed. It's not even as simple as that anymore. So what has changed is rather interesting. Agile is becoming a standard. And because Agile is becoming a standard, the focus isn't on any longer how do we make the teams agile, or how do we organize an agile implementation, how do we ensure agility right throughout. It's more on this is what we're doing, and therefore it's not top of the mind any longer. I've also noticed, possibly because of that becoming a standard, that the teams becoming larger. There's certainly fluid teams. What I mean by fluid teams is that you have team members that might belong to 2 or 3 different teams, or might come in for 3 weeks and then leave to go to another team. That type of fluidity in a team. You got your work from home, which is becoming a standard now. And you've got distributed teams, quite a few of those now happening, whereas that was a rare activity to have a team distributed. What I mean by distributed is you might have members in Australia, in US, in the UK, in India, in France, etc., all the same team. That's a distributed team. So you're getting quite a few of those nowadays. You've got this idea of change fatigue, possibly because every coach has a different idea, or there's a new framework out. All those sort of things, that change fatigue. One of the things I come across quite often is this multiple visions. You've got a Scrum Master that has a particular vision. You've got an Agile coach that might have a vision that is different. You've got a product owner, which has a very different vision again. Our management and upper management might not agree on the particular vision that we're going forward to. Now, yes, there are some very good frameworks out there that could help with all of that, but it's still, you've still got that multiple visions that we want to be able to focus on. Now, I've been in a number of difficult situations as well. I talked about some of the really neat ones that I've been on, and absolutely fantastic, the dreams, if you like, that I've been with, organizing with teams who are ready and willing to change. But you've got some difficult ones as well. Now, where an Agile coach may not be effective, or maybe not be effective for some time, is where they've got an understanding from the teams that that person, the coach, has no authority. They don't have to listen to them. And yes, I have been introduced into a situation where on the day that I started as an Agile coach for the organization, all the teams were brought together to introduce them to myself as a new person coming in. And of course, nobody turned up, because their theory was that I was there to change the way they work. So they didn't want to even speak to me. And it takes time to get through that. Even still, during that time, you're ineffective. You're only got your own influence to let them, to try and get them to think that they're making the change themselves. Is the only way to do that. And that takes a lot of time. You've got misunderstandings. The teams are misunderstandings. Oh, you're here to change the way we work. No, I'm here to show you a number of different areas that you might like to consider that might help the way you work. But I can't change that. It's only you that can change that. And if you don't want to change that, it's not going to change. So it's like that. There's no understanding from the teams. Upper management has no understanding. So you're trying to battle that management sort of area of what's there, because there's always somebody who's going to say, we've had a coach in here now for 3 weeks. Why hasn't everything changed? Why are we paying for this coach? They're not producing anything. What's happening here? What does this coach actually do? All that sort of thing that starts coming into it, that questioning. But of course, trying to get time with upper management is, oh, sorry, we're too busy. So it's a very difficult, sometimes an extremely difficult thing to do. But the biggest difficult. So in those difficult situations, the biggest thing is time. It takes time. And yes, I'm able to reflect back on going through possibly a couple of years of extremely difficult transformations, to sit back at the end of that and say, wow, look at what has happened. Look at the difference between what I came into and what they're doing now. And that is a big thing. I love that. But it took a couple of years to get there. And even then, there are people who are saying, well, you didn't do that, the team did that. And I said, great, that's the message we want to put across. But of course, they wouldn't have done it had I not been there. And but it takes time. And